Direct sales is a personal development program with a check attached. Jack Canfield said this in my interview with him, and I'm in 100% agreement. And I'm excited to announce the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Virtual Summit with the exclusive Jack Canfield interview replay is happening on March 24th, 25th, and 26th of 2022. We will not only have Jack Canfield, but 23 additional speakers and experts who are going to share their expertise, knowledge, and secrets to direct sales success. Jack is sharing his success principles as they apply to direct sales and network marketing. We also have a TikTok expert, a business video expert, diversity and recruiting, mindset coaches, public speaking experts, direct sales experts, and so many more. And the best part of this summit, it's happening online and it's complimentary. You get access to 3 days of speakers and topics that are going to help you build your business, grow your sales, grow your team in 2022. And all of it is at no charge to you. Go reserve your digital seat at summit.badassdirectsalesmastery.com. Again, reserve your seat at summit.badassdirectsalesmastery.com.
Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. I'm your host, Jennie Bellinger, your direct sales dom, helping you whip your business into shape. Today, I have with me Kim Benoy. And let me tell you a little bit about Kim. She is a mom, a wife, and a registered nurse who found a passion for inspiring others using essential oils and her voice as a podcast host. She helps women 40 and over find their courage, confidence, and calm by helping them clear out what's holding them back. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Thank you, Jennie. I'm so happy to be here.
I am so glad you're here. So I got to start out by telling everybody, because my listeners, especially those who have been listening we are well into over 120 episodes by the time this episode will air. My audience knows that I'm a member of BNI, and guess what? So are you.
So am I.
So if anybody's curious, does BNI work for people in network marketing? Yes, y'all, it does.
Big yes.
So that's how you and I met, was because of BNI. But you have a wonderful direct sales business. Tell us a little bit about how you got into direct sales.
Yeah, so I work with doTERRA essential oils. And about 4 years ago, I went to a class about oils and pets because I was working with a dog rescue. And long story shorter, I ended up, ordering a bottle of peppermint or something. And about that time, I was using the peppermint, and I'd kind of known a little bit about essential oils because I'd used them in my job as a nurse, but I really didn't understand what they actually can do. And so I was kind of following this person that sold me the peppermint online and on Facebook, and I think they had a BOGO going on. And so I'm just, I think I bought one of those. And then she had a little Facebook post kind of before Christmas saying, "Hey, would you like to earn a little extra money for Christmas? And you could join my team." And I'm like, well, yeah, I wouldn't mind making a little extra money for Christmas. Who wouldn't? So I ended up joining her team as a wellness advocate, and just kind of for fun and a little extra money. And wow, I started learning about the oils and what they actually can help you with and the therapeutic effects. And it just lined up with what I believed in as far as healthcare. We are in a society where we go to the doctor, they give you something for the symptom you're having and send you on your way. And then you probably need something else. And, you probably all know that, but oils help you actually go to the root of the problem and, fix it from that base. So that lined up with what I believed in. And lo and behold, I'm having fun with it and building a business with it.
That's awesome. So you've been in it for a little over 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
As you've been going through and learning about the oils and learning how to build a business, what made you decide to go check out this BNI thing and actually decide to be a member?
I actually, first I was in another networking group it was all women and it was good. It was a good group and it met monthly and it was okay. And then about 3 months before that year was up, someone invited me to a BNI meeting. They were looking for another oils person because they didn't have one yet. And so I thought I'd check it out. And I was amazed. Like, that was it. Good energy. I love the fact that you aren't really there. I mean, you're there for your own business, but the focus is on getting referrals for other people. And that helps grow your own business. And I love that about BNI. So I did not look back. I'm in. Sign me up.
Nice. And so through this journey now, so you've been a BNI member for how long now?
I'm going into my 3rd year.
Wonderful. So how have you used BNI to build your business and how has your experience in doTERRA conversely helped your BNI experience?
Well, I was a nurse. I started out this business saying, I'm not a business person, I'm a nurse. Well, now I'm a business person.
Yes, you are.
I am. I feel like when you go through something new, there's no one way to learn and do what you need to do. So I love taking what I learned from BNI and from doTERRA and just taking what works for me and using that. And if you're doing what you know is right and what you feel is right, then you're going to be successful. And that's what I've learned from both areas.
That's awesome. And so what are some of the things that you've been able to accomplish in your doTERRA essential oils business now over the course of these 4 years, that something you're really proud of or multiple things you're proud of? What's some cool things you can share with us?
Well, I think probably the one thing that I'm most proud of is that I've helped people, especially women, learn that they have choices. And that's kind of like, I'm empowering other women to know that, maybe I don't need to take a certain thing. Maybe I can use this oil and it's not going to give me, side effects or harm me in any way. And just knowing that they have, but it's deeper than that. It's just the choice that the fact that women know that they have power to choose and even take their own path if they want to, which is kind of what I've done. I've also, I just recently gained a builder. Like, one of my customers decided to upgrade to be a wellness advocate too. And I really looked at my team and like my structure, and I'm like, wow, I've built a big team of customers. And I did that, so I'm really proud of that. So I think that's, those are probably the two things that kind of stick out to me with that question.
That's awesome. No, and that's really good because one of the areas that people sometimes overlook is when they've got a huge customer base. Sometimes we focus on the fact that we haven't maybe earned a trip or earned a car or earned the whatever your company is offering. And that's the biggest win in all of this. We're in business to help other people, and a large customer base shows you it is physical, tangible, visible proof, because you can look at your customer base on your back office and see how many people you're helping.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
It's amazing.
I love that. I love that. And so as you've been going through this business, we all know it's not rainbows and roses.
Nope, definitely not.
It's not all, glitter and smiles here.
No.
There have been ups and downs. Now, obviously, we've all been dealing with a pandemic, but what's another obstacle you've maybe dealt with in your business, and how did you overcome it?
That's such a good question. I think that, my company is an MLM, multi-level marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
MLM. I always forget what that means,
Mm-hmm.
what it stands for. But a lot of times that those companies get a bad rap because people have had negative experiences with them. And I've experienced that. People, they'll say, I'll kind of talk about what I do, and oh yeah, that's one of those multi ML companies, and they're just whatever, very negative. And sometimes I get sucked into that, and I want to go negative, but I'm like, nope, they're not the people that I need right now. So you just have to kind of, that person's not ready to hear what I need to say, or what I have to offer. So I've learned to just kind of let that go, and when they're ready, they'll be, I'll be there and ready for them too. So
absolutely. And I think that really is a great way to handle that kind of stuff, because some of us, we so want to fight, fight that perception. And I think sometimes just our existence and continued business really does speak more volumes than us trying to change their mind with our words. It's through our actions and through us continuing to succeed and help others. And from that, then as we are helping others, we make money as the icing on the cake, right? The cake for us in direct sales is helping others. That's why we get into it. I mean, to a T. Every client I talk to in my coaching practice, when I ask them, hey, why'd you get into this? I wanted to help people, it came down to, I saw the benefit of my company's product or service and what it did for me. And I wanted to offer that help for other people who are like that. And it sounds like you've got the same thing. So as we're going through and working to actively change that perception of the negative perception of MLM, network marketing, direct sales, they all three have that negative connotation. And, one more thing on my little soapbox here, because this drives me crazy. I do have to say this drives me crazy. Sometimes I'll be talking to someone who's in direct sales, network marketing, or an MLM, and they will say something like, well, yes, my company's direct sales, but we're not network marketing. Or they'll say, yes, we're MLM, but we're not direct sales. Like y'all, can we stop poo-pooing on different business models that look almost identical to people outside of the business? Can we just not, sorry, I'm just stepping off the soapbox now. I love it. Yeah. That's seriously a whole other episode that I'm going to go right now. But so Kim, I love that that's how you deal with that obstacle, is just, okay, you are entitled to your opinion. Exactly. And I'm not going to let it affect me. And I think that's a beautiful, wonderful way to approach that.
Yeah. And I have to say too, that's the doTERRA culture as well. It's easy, we all know that, well, if you do essential oils, there's two big companies, is doTERRA and the other one. And instead of, if someone brings up something negative about the other company, you just have to let it go, and you just focus on what doTERRA does and the positives. And so that has really helped in that journey too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it doesn't help to, and I literally teach this in my trainings when I train BNI members, because I'm a trainer for BNI. It doesn't help to bash your competition. Like, you should not be using your sales manager moment or your keynote presentation to ever bash your competition. And I'm saying that to people who are in all industries, insurance people, banking people, real estate agents. Like, bashing your competition never looks good on anyone. So that's really awesome that you choose to take the high road all the time. When given a choice, Kim's going to take the high road. That's a good thing, right? I like for that. Sure. And so, you've been going through and building this business, using BNI to do this. How have you seen BNI really helping your business, the networking piece, right? Because we're network marketing, we're multi-level marketing. You need a network to build an MLM, a network marketing business, or a direct sales business. So many of us choose BNI as an option. How has BNI helped feed your business and feed you?
Well, not only, the people in my chapter are quite a few of them are customers, and they actually were before BNI, but they've, helped me add more from that group. But they also are the ones who, they'll send me referrals for, oh, my mom, I was talking about the oils with my mom or my sister, and she'd like to talk to you. And so those bring me, more referrals and more business and more people to connect with. And I just love that about BNI. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what it's for. So that has really helped my business. And even just, I've got some people who maybe they've been with doTERRA before, but they're not necessarily wanting to have their own account right now. And they'll say, hey, do you have some On Guard, or some lavender or whatever it happens to be? And yeah, I sure do. Because if you could see my stock right now,
right.
I'll probably be having an end of year sale here soon. But so that's another way too, that I can just, sell the extra that I have. And then maybe someone else they know will see that or, talk about it. And that's another way that my name gets out.
That's awesome. Now I want to shift gears a little bit because as I mentioned in your bio, you're also a podcast host. So tell us a little bit about your podcast and how did you get into podcasting? What got you started with it?
Oh my gosh. So I was at another a business event, kind of market. I don't know what you call it, but I was at an event where there's a speaker who is a business coach. And she mentioned that whatever it is that gets you up in the morning, like whatever you're passionate about, put that into your business and that doesn't mean it's going to be, 100% successful and rainbows and roses, like you said, but it'll be more fun and you want to do it more. And that really, resonated with me. And so I was thinking, well, what do I really love to do? And I thought, well, I'd like to talk to people. I like to get up in front of people and talk. And of course that has been limited the last year. So my daughter actually has a podcast and I thought, well, I could do a podcast. I think that would be really fun. And it just felt, I've been going with my gut a lot this year and just that feels right. Let's try it. So I have this friend who, she's not a business coach, but she helps you kind of research things. And I said, I'm going to sign up with you for 3 months and I want to get a podcast going. And, my goal was to have it ready to do an episode by the end of the 3 months. Well, I just jumped into it. We got it done. And I actually had an episode recorded, probably 2 by the end of the 3 months.
Yeah.
And so I knew it was right. And I wanted to, it's called Midlife with Courage. And it's about inspiring and encouraging other women over 40 who are probably like me, where most of my life, people have told me, well, you need to do this, you need to do this, you have to do this. And I turned, the magic age of 50-ish, whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have to do everything people are telling me to do. What? Are you kidding me? No. And so I want other women to feel that and to find, I want to help them with clearing that. Like, what's holding you back? Well, what's holding most of us back, probably all of us, is what's between our ears, that mindset. So I kind of, I'm trying to work, kind of starting that journey with trying to help women clear that mindset, change it, and then just, the sky's the limit. What do you want to do? Let's figure out how to do it.
I love that. Okay. So first of all, I got to say, when you said you turned 50, I try my best to not make my face show what's going on in my head for the most part, but my jaw probably should have dropped because you don't look 50. You look amazing.
Thank you.
Whatever you're doing, keep it up.
I don't know.
So,
oils.
Well, and I love that you're using your podcast to help people come to that realization faster, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's often the benefit of doing something like this is the opportunity to help people shorten their learning curve is yes. what I call it. That's why I have this podcast and put it out, was to shorten learning curve of people in direct sales, because there are so many people I wish I would have heard from earlier in my business. There are, yes. You know what I mean? And so I think it's phenomenal that you're doing that. And then secondly, girl, own every minute of those 50 years. You have earned them all. Say with pride,
Yeah.
I tell people all the time when they're like, oh, I'm not going to ask your age. I'm like, oh no, I'm 44.
Nice.
I've earned every one of these, like all my, like right now, obviously people are listening so they can't see, but my purple hair, but my roots are showing, and you can see my roots really well because this is my wisdom that's starting to show through.
Yes.
And
wisdom.
as soon as all of my head is wisdom, I'm going to stop doing purple and go full on white. And I'm going to look like Storm from the X-Men is my goal. My goal.
Be stunning.
I cannot wait. I am so excited for it. I'm serious. I don't want to dye my hair that. So I'm like, if I'm going to dye my hair, I'm going purple for a while. But anyway, enough about me. So no, I think own every one of those years, because I think that's really important as you're doing a podcast about midlife with courage, right? Is saying, you know what? I own every one of these years. Every experience I've been through up till now has made me who I am. Yeah. And, you know, I love who I am, hopefully.
Right. And I just was talking to another lady the other day, and she's kind of starting, she's actually one of my next podcast guests. And she was saying, oh, I'm starting over, I'm doing this, and I just don't know. And I said, look what you have done. You've come this far, you've raised kids, you survived a divorce, she actually had run another business. And I try to remind other people, look at what you've done, look back and see everything you've done. So I guess I need to do that for myself too. Sometimes I forget about that.
Right on the nose, girlfriend, right on the nose. Exactly. Yep. I mean, I think it is really important because so many of us do tend to focus on, and again, one finger pointing out, three fingers pointing back at me. Right. So I can be guilty of this too, is we focus on how much further we have to go to reach that big goal, that big incentive, that whatever it is that we're focused on right now, that we forget to stop and look behind us and see how far we've come, all the obstacles we've overcome, the achievements and accomplishments that we've already done that have gotten us to the place where we're in a position to actually go for that goal. Right. And so, I think listening to a podcast like yours, because one thing I know about podcast listeners is we're always on the lookout for our next great podcast to add to our arsenal, because podcasts are like Pringles. You can't have just one. Someday I'll get Pringles to actually sponsor my podcast just because I say that. Just because I say that all the time. Podcasts are like Pringles. You can't have just one. And I'm not even sure if that's the right chip company that said you can't have just one. It might have been Lay's, but whatever. I like the alliteration of podcasts are like Pringles. So anyway, so no, I really encourage people. It doesn't matter if you're not over 40 yet. You should still go listen to Midlife with Courage, because why wait until you're 40 to all of a sudden be courageous, y'all?
Exactly. Yeah. And actually, one of my platforms, I can see who's listening and their ages. And there is a big chunk of women, like the 26 to 34 age range. So
nice,
which is nice. I also have the 40 and over, but I love that there's younger people listening too, because like you said, they do need to hear these messages now.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the most empowering things that ever happened to me was when I was in my 20s, and Oprah had her 50th birthday episode. And I remember thinking to myself, watching that episode, that she said something like, I finally feel like I've really come into myself. I've become more of who I am the older I get. And I remember, and she was so excited to turn 50. And whether or not that was the truth, I don't think she was acting. I think she really was excited, because she was bringing on all these other women who were also turning 50. And I remember that made me start getting excited about turning 50. And so when I turned 30, I didn't freak out like everybody's like, oh yeah, here comes Jenny's freak out. She's going to freak out when she turns 30. And I was like, oh, I'm 20 years from being 50, and people are like, what the hell are you talking? And so I think I think it's wonderful that you have listeners who are not yet 40, who are already listening to your show, because hopefully they will take a lot of those same takeaways that I pulled from the Oprah's 50th birthday show. And that's so, and will hopefully help this younger generation of women step into their own sooner, be courageous sooner, and feel not just, here's the thing. I think a lot of women are courageous. They just don't always feel courageous. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think you are right. Yeah. Because they get all these messages, like I said, they have to do this or should do that. And if they dare to step outside of that, oh my gosh, who are you? What are you doing? Like, might even be like, you're not the B word, but you know what I mean? Like,
right.
How dare you do that?
Yeah.
And that's not okay. That is not okay. And no wonder, like, they don't want to do courageous things.
Right. Well, and it's one of the things I like to point out to my clients when we're having some sort of discussion about whether or not they should do something and their fears around it. I'm like, one of the ways that I talk them through that is by saying, look, yes, you are going to have fear when you take this big step, whatever this big step may be. Whether it's a conversation around, with a particular person about having a party, or inviting them to join the business with you, showing the business opportunity to them, that you can't have courage, you can't have bravery without fear. Mm-hmm. Like the definition of courage and bravery is that somebody does something despite the fact that they feel fear. You have to have the fear as part of it, or else it's not courageous or brave.
Right. And it's just whatever it is,
Right.
Yep.
That's confidence. That's not courageous. Right. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Am I wrong on that definition? I don't even know.
You're totally right. Yeah. No, I've talked about that in my other networking groups too. And and the more courage you show, the more you do, the more confident you get. So if you skip right to the confident,
right. Exactly.
Not courage there, but
yeah. Confidence starts with courage. Ooh, I like that. Take it, girlfriend,
yes,
run with it. Confidence starts with courage. So midlife with courage, be courageous so you can get to confidence. Oh, girlfriend, there you go.
And then when you're so confident and you're like, oh my gosh, I am king of the world or queen of the world. And then you're like, oh, I need to just calm down a little bit. Then you've got your calm.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you start over the next day.
Exactly. And I think too, there's nothing wrong with confidence, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, so many people are so scared, I think, to be confident, and women especially are scared to be confident because they'll be seen as a bitch or cocky or whatever. Right. And, and there's a difference, right? It's the people who are confident they have the stuff to back it up, right? They've lived life. They've dealt with negative consequences before. They actually are able to do the things they say they're able to do. They have the follow through. That's where confidence comes. That's the difference between confidence and cockiness. And cockiness is also a little bit of like the bragging part, but somebody can actually say, look, I am really good at something, so one of the things I regularly tell people, my superpower is training. Mm-hmm. Well, duh. I have my degree is in psychology and my background is education. Of course, my superpower is training. This is a no-brainer. Of course, I'm going to be good at training. Right. So for you, what would you say, Kim? What would you identify as your superpower?
Let's see. I think my superpower would be connecting to people with empathy. And I don't know if that's just how I always had been or if it's from my nursing, but as I've gotten older, I've learned to look at something from another person's viewpoint, which is empathy, basically. And so if someone's, crabby, cranky, my mind automatically goes to, well, why? What's going on there? And so that helps me connect with them on a deeper level. And then hopefully I can help them find a solution for whatever it happens to be, because I want to help. Like I want to figure this out. What can I do to help with that? So,
right. Yeah. Cause I if you have someone, to use your own example, someone who's cranky or crabby or whatever, and you respond in kind, that doesn't help the situation. But if you can put yourself in their shoes for literally 5 seconds, or at least, say, hey, is everything okay? Mm-hmm. It changes the entire dynamic if they have enough relationship with you to be like, no, things aren't okay right now. I've got X, Y, and Z going on. And that's going to deepen a relationship. That's going to create more connection. Like you were just saying, of course, you're amazing at connections if you're going to be empathetic in a way that helps support people. That's awesome. I like that.
Thanks. Thank
Very
you.
cool. So continuing on with this conversation about midlife with courage, you have been so kind to share with my badass crew, my listeners. You have a little gift for them from your podcast. Tell us a little bit about your gift.
Yes. Well, as we have talked about, a lot of your starting on that journey to be more courageous and confidence, that starts in your own head. You want to change that mindset around. If you're always, got that negative, something bad happens and you just go down that negative road. I want to teach you 3 ways that have worked for me to kind of turn that around. And these have really helped. So I created a guide called 3 Easy Ways to Change Your Mindset Now. And that is available for free if you go to my website, midlifewithcourage.com, on the free resources page. And you just click on there and, put in your email and it'll come right to your inbox. And you can just download it right to your computer or phone or whatever.
That's awesome. So I'm going to remind my badass crew, if you are interested in getting her gift, which is 3 Easy Ways to Change Your Mindset Now, you can grab the link from the show notes. So my crew already knows how to do this. They've been hearing me talk about show notes for a while. But if you're brand new to the podcast, maybe this is the first time you've ever listened to a podcast, let me help you out. If you are interested in getting Kim's free gift of 3 Easy Ways to Change Your Mindset Now, if you want to access the show notes, all you have to do is pick up your phone, as long as you're not driving, grab your phone, click on the episode, and you'll see the podcast episode art. Just scroll up a little bit on your phone and magically the show notes appear underneath. And you'll see the link that will take you directly to Kim's gift. And so that way you don't have to try and remember, wait, what was the website? How do I get there? We're going to have the link directly in the show notes. So all you have to do is go click it, grab that download, or at least let her know where to send it. And she'll send you this nice little guide of 3 easy ways to change your mindset now. And Kim, before we go, I have one more question for you.
Sure.
What would you say is your secret to success in direct sales?
My secret to success would probably be patience. I am not the most patient. I have not been the most patient person in the past, but I have learned to be patient because, I know what I have to offer people, whether it's the oils or the courage, confidence, and calm. And I get so excited about it. And I just want to here it is. And you should get it right now. But it takes a while for most people to get that message and understand it. So I have learned patience, and that has served me very well over the last 4 years.
Oh, I love that. And it makes perfect sense. I mean, so many of us nowadays, we are in a world of what my mentor in direct sales would call, we're in a time where we are used to instant gratification. Right?
Yes.
Not just instant gratification, but instant getification. We're used to getting the thing, getting that dopamine hit right away. Right. And, because we can go on Amazon now and it's not even 2-day shipping anymore. Now you can sometimes get things like 1-day shipping, and sometimes depending on where you live, same day, if you order early enough in the day and you've got an Amazon fulfillment center 30 minutes from your house, like I do.
Crazy.
So it's shocking to me that I've seen a thing saying, oh, hey, we can get this to you tomorrow. And I'm like, huh? Yes. What? Right. So that patience piece is sometimes really hard for those of us in direct sales, especially new people, because we're thinking, we come into it. And I'm definitely guilty of this when I first started my business. Anybody who's been to one of my sponsoring workshops will tell you that I tell the story of how I got my first recruit 4 months into my business. It took me 4 months to recruit my first person. And up to that point, I was frustrated. I was confused. I'm like, I'm killing it in this business. Why aren't the fish jumping in the boat? What the heck?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was very impatient and very upset. And it took me getting my first team member by accident on purpose, which is weird. So you'll have to listen to that story another time.
Yes.
But I think you're right. Patience, if somebody can learn that patience now, to be able to help serve their business, serve their clients, serve their customers, serve their hostesses if they have a party plan business, serve their team members with patience. Oh, man.
It's huge. And I have to say, I learned this from my dad.
Okay, good.
If you have a minute for the story, but
please do. Yeah.
I live in Wisconsin. I'm a big Green Bay Packers fan, and, I love football. And so I'd be watching the game, and my dad, he lives an hour away, and we'd be texting, and, oh my gosh, can you believe that? And all he would text me back is patience. And like, okay, Dad, I got it. So that's the start of that patience.
I love that. I'm also a football fan too. And I like the Green Bay Packers. They're not my favorite team, but they are on my list of teams that I do like.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Well, I lived in college. I lived with someone from Wisconsin. So,
okay.
I was ambivalent to the team before that. And then afterwards I saw, like, man, you want to talk about a passionate football fan. I do have to say, Packers fans, y'all are the most passionate. I'm sorry. Yeah. There is not another team out there that can beat a Packer passion. I just,
we're born into it. It's just in our blood.
It really, that is so true. So true after having lived with somebody. So, oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, sharing your podcast with us. I so appreciate you, Kim. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I just love talking to you.
Oh, I love talking to you too. So we're going to have you back so we can talk more about your podcast, talk about more about what you're doing with your business, especially as you continue to build and grow. Yeah. I would love to follow your story and share the follow-ups with my audience, because they do love those follow-ups, I've found out, because so far I've had one person who has come back now twice.
Oh, fun.
Or come back for her second interview to share an update on her business and her life. And it's one of the top downloaded episodes because people are like, oh, hey, we heard this one before. Ooh, what's new with her? Right. So we love that continued story. So I'd love to have you back again, Kim.
I would love to be back. I've got some great things happening and coming up. So
I can't wait. That's awesome. Well, thank you so very much for your time, taking time out of your busy schedule as an entrepreneur, as a mom, as a BNI member. I'm so glad you're here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And Badass Crew, you guys know how it goes. Stay tuned because there's another episode on its way.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.